Sorry if the coffee cooled down.
No worries.
Mine won't have that problem. That's the intended effect.
I always order hot coffee just for it to boil down and become room temperature coffee.
And then you throw ice on it.
Oh, wow. All right.
Strong.
I think, yeah.
That's how it should be, right?
Yeah, that's right. Very Vietnamese. Speaking of Vietnamese, like, how long have you been here?
I mean, maybe I should
Like, up
introduce
to
myself.
now.
But yeah, I've been here 2 years. And for those that don't know, I'm Blake Wehrle. You might have heard of me. I've been in Hanoi for 2 years now, working for Wehrlegig first, which is a board game publisher that does historical titles. I've got playtest credits in Root and a bunch of leader games and in the Wehrlegig Games. And now we're doing a new thing, the next big thing, which we'll talk about some today.
Yeah, definitely. That will be our main talking point. Yeah. But I guess like before jumping into like the main event, we just may want to skipping around all of the topics a bit so that everyone is well covered.
Yeah.
So as you just introduce yourself as like a game developers and game designers, can you share a bit about your journey? Because I know for a fact that a lot of people, especially like young students who are about to graduate or who already graduated, they would like to know more about the insight of this very new career path or it's like in the game industry, board game industry to be specific.
Right. I mean, my path, like everyone's path in the game industry, is not a straight shot to anything. When I was at school, I studied software development because I knew, like, maybe I can just get a job, maybe I can just work for any old company, make myself useful. But when I was a freshman in college, I spent a month or two in St. Paul, where Leader Games is. Cole had been there for, I think, half a year, maybe a full year, and he was, Root had just been printed. I got to live with Cole a summer before when he was making Root, but now I got to see Root come alive.
Nice.
And it was cool to just be around it and see the creative process, in a company that's 8 people in a big room. No office, just an open space in a warehouse. And I didn't know that I would eventually be able to work for him, directly. I really was focused on video games at the time. At school, my school started opening up this video game program, so I started studying like game programming as well, because I was like, maybe I can join the video game industry. And I was really into that. But fast forward to a boring office job after graduating, and then moving here, convincing Wehrlegig that I can revamp their website and help playtest their games formally. I had always been working with my brothers playtesting games here and there, but it wasn't until like the last 2 years where I was like asserting myself and, being like, hey, people love your games. It's been great to be a part of it in this kind of limited capacity, and now I can do more and more for them, which is great.
And then kind of like you finally get your own title in Wehrlegig and in like the new studio, Berry Giants as well.
Yeah, and my title is still software developer, but when you work for a game company, you get to play test the games. You get to still see their like cycle. So I don't get to develop or design necessarily. That's like still the hobby side for me, where microphone where I'm still like tinkering with my own projects, but being a part of something big is exciting. So even if it's not what I want to make, in many ways it is, you still get to learn a ton.
Yeah.
So definitely getting to find a team that you're excited to work with is everything.
Yeah. And I guess like the key point here is that from hobby, like some majors, like especially like when we talk about video game, it's a big enough industry for students, for newcomers to jump right into it and turn it into something that they can make a living out of, right? Mm-hmm. But with board games like this, especially in the scene of Việt Nam, then it's much more difficult for us to do so. Some would just ignore the fact. Some would just, just have the...
It's like a defeatist mentality where it's like, it hasn't been done, it can't be done.
Or like they just want to jump right into the deep end of the water and say like, I want to,
I want to make
board game
$200 metal component, big box game.
And then I will, earn a living from this. Like, there's a reason why, like, up to now, I believe like the cute explosions of the board game scene happened in Vietnam would just be around like 20 years, not too that much, but yeah, it started around 2007, something like that. But yeah, not there's a reason why all the time, like from 2007 up until now, there are a few companies, just a few, like I guess like less than 5 companies that can actually exist or make a livelihood out of this. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess like even from the standpoint of being like a community builder, I always give advice for young game developers. Say like, let's just take this as a hobby first to see where you go, and that's something that not many people are willing to take to the heart, because of course we all come into life with the expectation that I have to be good at this, I need to be the best of this. So the only reason for us to do this is to throw everything out of the windows,
right.
And make this something that we will truly live by this, like do or die. The do or die mentality. Yeah.
I would say also like being open when you like something enough that you wish it was your career, but it can't. It's like, what are the paths to get there? The first would be it's a hobby.
Yeah.
It's, I need to show the world what I can do. And then through that acknowledgement, I'll build some hype around my name. I'll build some, or the designers will look at me and be like, wow, he's actually a good designer.
Yeah.
Like for me, I've never sold a video game, but I've posted maybe 4 video games that I've made, just small things I made in a month, or it was a game jam. And then you get comments online that are like, hey, I like this, or where's the tutorial? And it's like, sorry, I didn't have time. But then, like, with enough of that, it not only reinforces what you do right, it also just kind of gives you a sense of like, oh, there's like, if I just made a thing and sold it, I would sell 20 copies because I've only had 20 comments, Maybe some marketing I could times 10, times 100, but it's much better to do it for free for a little bit.
Yeah, it always
and then when you pitch, you're like...
Yeah, it always takes the burden out of you, like, as you started as a hobby. Because, like I don't know if you have heard about the saying that don't turn your hobbies into your career,
your craft,
something like because you end up hating it. I guess like the idea behind it, it's not necessarily like the nature of turning your passion or your hobby into like a career path, but more like you putting too much pressure, too much emphasis on the idea that you need to make it. You need to make it before everyone else. Like I used to have that kind of mindset, but these days, like looking around, I say like, shoot, I need more people to do like me because I'm the only one here. Yeah. So that's something like.
There's also the phrase, if you're gonna charge for your service, charge the actual price, or do it for free. Like don't say I can do that for just a little bit of money. And and then you're doing it, you're getting paid, but you're just like, what? Like that's not my worth.
Yeah, that's something like a lot of fresher game developers they got stuck because like they always start off their price extremely low.
They just want to make games.
Yeah, but they didn't see like the long-term consequence, which is like now if they want to ask to raise the price, they have to do significantly more things or show off more outstanding achievements just to raise the price a little bit. But I believe like with that idea, like either you do it for free or you call it very high. Like starting high, it gives you room so that you can drop down in the future if anything that doesn't go your way, or if you feel the need to drop down. But then if you already down here, like where else could you drop down anymore? Either just do it for free,
I mean, that's one way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me think like the same thing with the board game industry and the video game industry is, if you're working for someone else, usually the pay is low. I know, at least I'm guessing it is like that here, because there's kind of a solid demand and supply of like everyone wants to work in games. So since everyone wants to work in it, you don't have to pay the high price because someone would work for a lower price.
Oh yeah.
So I remember thinking like, I'm going to study, game making, and then I'll make my, low salary and just, I'll be happy that I'm working in that despite, some struggle.
True.
And yeah, for me, working with Wehrlegig and now Buried Giant, it's more of the promise. It's like, if we sell a bunch of games, if the company does really well, I'm with people I trust, I'll be able to, get bumps in pay, and then eventually, it is the job I wanted, like pay-wise.
Yeah.
But no, I'm compensated happily.
Yeah. I guess like at least like from here today, like where we are sitting right now, and at this time being, looking back into the the very first meeting that we had, I believe like you have traveled quite far in terms career wise, or the involvement with your brothers business wise. And the same can be said for me. Remember we starting like with barely some 5-6 people at the playtest.
Yeah.
These days, like the stand-up will be around 10, or even sometimes we could hit like a level of 20. Like
yeah, I've seen a playtest where it's like you take over a cafe, and it's like it's kind of a good energy. There's all the tables at the cafe have a game on them.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's special.
Yeah. Like trying to catch up with Michael.
Yeah.
Calling
I
out.
haven't really seen what his numbers and his playtest look like as much, but I'm guessing there's a kind of a similar.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to give the credit where the credit's due. Like initially, like before the arrival of Michael,
This shout out Michael,
Yeah.
Rolling Wizard.
Yeah, rolling with them. And let's say like the arrival of something like seems very big. But yeah. So before he came here, we actually had some playtesting, but it's a bit more of an quarterly thing, or at least like an annually thing with ngũ hành games. But then Michael came, and then he has more time availability than ngũ hành, so he just make it like a bi-weekly thing. And I was there at one of his first play tests, and I really liked the idea. When moving to Hanoi, just asked him like, man, I wish I could do something like you in Saigon. And he's just like, well, just do it.
Do it.
Yeah, that's a crazy part with this industry, or at least with what you and I are doing, because like a lot of things is not here already. It's not here yet.
Yeah.
So
you look up something you're interested in,
Yeah.
type in Vietnam, and you're like, nothing.
yeah. So yeah,
Like,
by
what?
that point, like if you don't do it, then who will? You have to ask yourself that. So that's also my mentality when doing stuff. Like even with the last ACG Fest, like hashtag by Comicola, like before doing that, I asked myself like, if I don't do it, then who would? And then I just jump right into it and do it. So
Do we have a date yet for this year?
well,
Into that?
so there are some estimation, but we should be able to pull it off around May.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's on.
So stay tuned.
Yeah,
to hear
that's on the plan. So stay tuned.
the next big board game event in Hanoi.
Oh yeah.
All right.
And what I can spoil a little bit more is that this time around, like for season 2, we will scale up a little bit, just a little bit, like with the involvement of a visual game, of cosplay. Of course, we already have, but maybe we'll try to have like kind of like a book reading station. It seems a bit wild, but we'll try to have that.
A book reading station?
Oh yeah, like because like you wouldn't believe this. Last time, like someone texted us and say like, because there's like Comicola, which is very popular
like a
for
place
this.
to chill and read manga.
Yeah, like they have a wide collection of books, manga, and all kind of stuff. So people really want to sit there and read for the newest edition of their stuff. So like that's something that we could also look into, beside game jam.
Yeah,
All
I mean, if we do that, then we need to get coffee there. So
Yeah.
we got to talk more about how we're doing that.
yeah, definitely. It's definitely not a small task, but it's something that we can do. Yeah. But yeah, it's a little bit bigger at a different venue with a lot more of involvement, not just from game publishers, but also like organizations and universities even. So hopefully like it is 2 times or 3 times bigger than our first season, which is not a very big ambition.
A big number, but it's something. It's growth.
Yeah,
That's the goal.
And also like the first time we pulled off, I only had 6 weeks, man. 6 weeks.
And now you've had what, 5 months?
Yeah, let's say that. Yeah.
You will by the time it happens.
Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what comes of it. It sounds like we have some things in the pipeline as far as who's gonna be there.
Oh yeah, man.
What we're gonna do. It's exciting. Yeah, and I have more homework I gotta do too.
True. So as we were speaking, you mentioned a lot about Wehrlegig and kind of like we also promise our audience or viewers to talk more about Buried Giants. But before getting to that, for someone who are very unfamiliar with Wehrlegig or Buried Giants, can you share a bit more about the studios?
Yeah. So both companies, Wehrlegig and Buried Giant Studios, are board game publishers, but we also design the games in-house. So from a board game starting on pen and paper and cardboard to some factory printing it, shipping it to our warehouses, we distribute it. Like, we handle everything but the manufacturing. Wehrlegig, I think, was founded, I don't know, 9 years ago? Don't quote me. But when Leader Games spun up, there was interest to reprint Cole's earlier works in a more premium capacity. And that's what my brother Drew did with him as like 50-50 partners. And now this year, 2026, they're starting a new company. Cole has departed from Leader Games, and along with some other staff that worked on like Oath, Arcs, and Root. So we have a lot of, amazing minds at Buried Giant that are going to definitely make some more great board games. We've already announced our first project, which is an expansion to Arcs. So we have a pre-save on Kickstarter going, and original titles will also come in the coming years. I'm sure so since I'm working as a developer for them, I just coded up our blog. So once Cole feels like writing a little bit, you'll get to see the work I did and read some of that. But there's not a lot of, board game companies like us out here. Medium size. Buried Giant's 10 people. But we're still gonna, print thousands of games that maybe go all around the world. Hopefully, people will buy them. And part of it is geographical. Board games have like a history in the Midwest where I'm from. Like Dungeons and Dragons was made in one of these like Midwest suburban houses not too far from mine. And then came, the miniatures and the, Milton Bradley and all the games that eventually became the hobbyist games. By the time Catan was in everyone's household in the 2010s, it's like suddenly we realized everyone already had a closet full of board game originals. And that was just like the second coming of, the Euro game and all the genres that we now know as board game nerds, that only the upper echelon of board gamers know. This is a whole tangent. Rant fest. But yeah, it's easier to be a board game company when there's other board game companies and people are going to buy them, are interested. And here it's like, you have to get word out. You have to convince people your game is good.
True.
And just now there's like a market for, original board games made in Vietnam for Vietnam. So it's cool that we have Michael spearheading that. It's cool we have Wehrlegig Games, but we need more.
Yeah, definitely. Like that's also like one of the reason why, like, even like in the near future, even I have to get back to the grassroots of playtesting or sessions or hosting it. Like even like I have to do it with like, back to the square one of doing like for free. I will still do it because like there's something we don't want to see in our community, which is gatekeeping. Like we like our community is so niche, is so in some alley with 5 slashes, if you know. And we need to bring our industry into the light, into like the awareness of at least the mainstream media first. And we have to educate the market a lot because, like you said, it's easier for someone who kind of like get into the board game development scene, turning it into a career path if surrounding them or like multiple board game companies and multiple communities that are readily support them like whenever they churn out new things. But here in Vietnam, like everything is so new, everything is so like the concept of making a board games, earning money from board game, or manufacturing or buying board games are still very blurry.
Mm-hmm.
Like we as kind of like publishers, we still face like the word is pretty big, but it's enough to say like the epidemic of counterfeit games.
Yeah.
Because like we just right next door to China, which is like they can make everything. So yeah. But we like as game developer, as community builders.
This year we have a board game store. Or I guess just last year we have our first official board game store in Hanoi. Before that, you could find a counterfeit store. I know a few.
Oh yeah.
And they're cheap.
Yeah. That's the thing.
I bought my first counterfeit here on accident. I didn't know it was there because it was 99%.
Oh, yeah.
I was just out for a walk. I saw a store with a bunch of board games. I walked in and I was like, wow.
Because you brought it up, like sometimes you can find like counterfeit games with the quality of like significantly higher than the authentic one.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And they sell for such cheaper price. Like
it's like half a third if you know where to get it.
And with higher quality, like people might start ask questions like why there's the need to buy authentic games, And
I don't think I've seen one that's higher quality. But maybe.
Oh, there is. There is. But
I've seen the copies. The funny counterfeits are the ones that have all the wrong colors. I saw a copy of Scout and it's like instead of purple and orange, it was like blue. Blue and yellow. And I was like,
oh my god. Like like last month I played a counterfeit version of Hues and Cubes. And trust me when I said like God, like it messed us up so bad with the like the difference between the gradients on the cards and on the the table, because like this is not what we are calling for. But
I mean, there's a very when Cole had just released Root, I think a year or two later, they found online Root, all new art, Chinese, everything, no mention of Cole. And out of curiosity, it was like, let's see what is inside. He got a copy. And then he looks inside and it's like, wow, they like kind of kept every rule. Like it is 99% Root. Just like new art and new, you know. But it's like, it's because the people that want to play the board game, they just want to play the design. And the people printing it are not going to try to mess with that. Because it's like, why would you take away the whole draw of, a new game if you break it?
It's also like something funny with, it's a paradox, because as a board game developers, especially like new ones, you hit it big when you see counterfeit version of your games on the market.
Right.
But at the same time, you might
a lot of pause.
You might start to, want to kind of look into the legality of the way to protect your rights to the game, because at the end, actually this is quite an interesting topic that we had with Franklin. Shout out to Franklin. Like last weekend when he brought up the idea of Hasbro hosted a game competition or a toy making competition, but he excluded many countries, including Vietnam. But he included like some like say like Thailand, Singapore, Japan, the Philippines, and we kind of like make to ask a question like why. And one of our guesses would be like those countries has better copyright law infringement compared to here. So on the grand scheme of things, counterfeit games not only hurt the economy, hurts the artists, but also hurts the potential, partnerships or potential like career path for the developers from their own country as well. So that's definitely something we need to look into if we ever want to, like we both said earlier, to move out onto broad daylight for many more people to see.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing kind of brings up a point that, again, Cole made, where it's like when you buy a book, you're buying the paper, but you're really buying the story. You're buying the work that went into it. Same with when you buy a game. It's like there's the component side, and then there's the supporting the creator side. And unless you're a retailer buying in bulk, you shouldn't really be able to pass that. And then the counterfeits cut out the creator entirely, so it's not good, obviously. And that's another like pain point, trying to make games in Vietnam. But all the more reason to have a game be kind of have its origins here. And people like, the theme or the design so much that they're like, oh, I want to give that creator my money. And it's, just kind of that positive feedback that we have in the States, but just purely in Vietnam.
Yeah. That's definitely something like not just like of the duty of ngũ hành, of Rolling Wizard, or not me or you, but the whole community, like the whole scene, like have to work towards if we ever want to kind of like make it big or something. Yeah.
I have a few topics of games taking place in Vietnam, or just things I've experienced here that I'm like, oh, I'm just like imagining the cards and the components. One of the things I love just living in Hanoi is all the like aromas and the like herbs, like the Eastern medicine, the like, what's it, the icy hot balm. The balms you put on, the leaves you chew, like, and they give you these like effects where it's like, oh, it's a cooling leaf, and I'm just like, there's so much. Don't steal my idea. I'm still cooking on this. This is like in my notebook. But yeah, I totally want to make a game about like, I need to read like more texts about, the trade of these things, because that would be naturally where I would lean is, spice trade or just, or even just domestically, a fresh market and all these things. But there's so much room for expression here. It's not just the food. It's like the things we use. Also just honey. Like there's so much things. Like we use honey to soothe wounds. It's so cool.
I have heard.
But yeah, random rant there for things I like. Oh, hello. What? Oh yeah. We're getting there. I'll talk to you guys soon. My friends are here.
Nice. So well, like because you mentioned like, because you're right, like I think like there is something like, I would say, some advice for new game developers or game designers to do. As you want to make a game about the culture, the history of a place, there's so much more to look into rather than just focusing that on the history, on the food, on the spiritual ghostly thing.
Right.
Like that's, I don't know, like it seems to me that was a meta of like the last 2 years. Like everyone wants to make a game about ghosts, about demons, about fighting each other, but
kind of a hot topic.
yeah, like, but Like,
there's more.
yeah, there's still the same mechanism. Like, technically, you just retheme it, or you don't go out of the way just to make a new game to fit the theme that you're making. Which all in all, it gives us, or it gives like the board game design scene, which is already very small, bad look, or not a very
Yeah, it could be seen as childish.
Oh yeah, like people would have a wrong expectation or wrong perspective on people who make games. Like, this is easy. You make games, so you just use Monopoly and put the theme of Vietnam,
which is done a lot here.
Yeah,
putting chess in everything.
Oh God, don't start.
I won't start that. It's easy. It's effective. People love chess.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah,
it has that same kind of constraint. I would say that whole conversation about do you start with the theme or the design is
it's worth its own podcast.
It is. You definitely. I mean, I can't give advice. I don't have a board game out, but I know from what I've heard in the process is like you definitely want to know some mechanics first that you plan on playing with, and then kind of shopping for a theme that you can use to, tie those knots later.
Oh yeah.
Because then, let's say you have, your loose game. Once you pick that theme, it's going to answer those questions like, who am I? What am I doing? Like, these very big questions that...
Like, you just want to be another, designer, or you want to be yourself, kind of like new.
Yeah. In Wehrlegig, I was put on for like Hellraisers, a new title that we don't have out yet. I was put on playtesting and some light development for, and that was like us every playtest. We'd have a really fun session, but then it'd be like, okay, I'm, the companies, or I'm the, workers on strike. Why do I want to do this? Like, and we had laid all these mechanics out, but it was still like, why is my turn, dissonant from the theme?
Yeah, not very convincing.
And that we've now handed back to Luke and Matilda, who are still working and solving those questions for us, because we had this thing where there's too many cooks in the kitchen. It was like we had like our designers, my brother and one other, all like working together, but then it's like if you have too many people that can touch the design, it could never get finished because they're all like, I want to pull it this way.
Oh yeah.
I want to pull it that way.
Oh yeah.
And then when I'm in the mix, I have my own opinion. So it's like, don't listen to me, and then you say your piece.
Yeah.
So it's funny.
So back to like the big question that everyone wants to hear from you, like, is that the main reason why your brothers move out from Leader Games to start their own studio, Buried Giants, because too many cooks were in the kitchen?
I will probably wrap this up in like the next 5 also. We can have a part 2. I was thinking we could do this like every few weeks leading up to our convention too, because this could be a good format for us. And if people like to listen in, maybe we'll get better.
More professional.
But what started Buried Giant is the question. I would say a mix of things. Obviously, things were amicable at Leader Games, but that doesn't mean Cole and company felt their own like pressure to want to do their own thing, creatively, or just like Cole has had 2 jobs. He's been working at Leader Games and Wehrlegig, and he works during the day and then works during the night. It's the weekend he's working, and it's like, constantly
Ah.
on the clock. And I mean, he wouldn't clock in because he's just
Yeah,
anytime
like 24/7.
if he's at a desk, he's in the Adobe suite. He's doing exports. He's typing. He's writing. He's a madman. It's amazing, but would it be cool if it was just one job?
Oh yeah.
So, anyway, now it will be one job with Buried Giant. Buried Giant will eventually fold in Wehrlegig maybe in this next year, and it'll house all of our titles. Buried Giant acquired the rights to Arcs and Oath as part of a deal with Leader Games, and we will be supporting those titles. And then, as Wehrlegig eventually becomes a part of things, we'll have PAX, Premiere, John Company, Molly House. So a nice big catalog. We're really happy and excited because this kind of like mid-company, it's like not an acquisition because it's just some titles, but it will acquire Wehrlegig, and it's all the same people. So we think it's a really good thing, and we're really excited for what's to come.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like I told you many times that even like John's company, PAX Premiere, like those
Big games.
Yeah, those games, like when you think, like when you did share with me, like you wonder like whether or not it has its audience in Vietnam, but in fact it is. And there's a lot of people in fact like the games and always trying to find a way to buy or at least try out the games in multiple board game cafes around Hanoi or even in Ho Chi Minh City. So
like global reach, really, which is cool. Especially when I think about my mom saying, I wouldn't have thought this would be so popular. Game about Afghanistan, the great game, or like the the East India Company, or they're not exactly like well known. It's like, this is the American Revolution game.
Yeah.
This is our game about civil rights.
Yeah, which is something I'm shamelessly will plug in here, is the idea of those events, which by its nature is kind of like a bit try to chew or to swallow, right?
I mean, it's a part of history that most people are not acquainted with.
But then game itself or the game mechanism you guys brings into like those events turn it into so digestible, and it's so perfect for someone who wants to learn about those things, for someone who
it's twofold.
For someone who want to take in such immense kind of like knowledge or something, like which is something I always love from the very beginning when I touch into board games, like how to turn cold lesson into something that so digestible, so interactive, and so engaging for learners of all ages even.
Yeah, board games weirdly have you can teach board games from a very early age.
Oh yeah.
You'd be surprised when you like teach. I always use Catan. When you teach a 8-year-old how to play Catan, and he's like better than you.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, he's a mean, 3-for-1 trader, and you're like, dang, playing hard. Like, where did you learn about this? And then it's like a lot of those things are part of our brain very early on. I need to wrap up. I get to the next thing, but this was great.
Yeah.
Is there any closing remarks you got for me?
I guess like it's very nice to sit down and have a conversation with a very close friend of mine, and
this guy,
and another like great partner I have on the journey of making the board game scene in Hanoi or in Vietnam bigger. So I guess this is just the beginning of many, many series that we will have, sit down and chat, or, offline, face-to-face, or virtually, hopefully with many developers like in Ho Chi Minh City, in across the world, even in the future. So hopefully, like we will bring many insightful ideas for young developers, for people who want to take board game as like a serious career path in their future. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Oh yeah. I think from this like kind of first touch point, I would say let's do it again. If anyone has questions for us, topics, I'm happy to go into it. I feel like we just started scratching the surface.
Oh yeah, just to test the water first.
I mean, as soon as we get into video games, it's gonna be game over.
Oh yeah,
that's when I can really rant.
All right, great talking to you.
It was great. All right, I'm gonna press the stop button. See
ya.
ya.